Hey, welcome back to Diggs on Twitch. Back today with Punishing Maverick, a deck that I consider probably one of the most underplayed but powerful versions of Maverick. This is a deck that obviously takes Grove of the Burn Willows and Punishing Fire due to the synergy between them, and uses that as an extra way to deal with creatures, planeswalkers, finish off opponents. So there's a few things you can do with this deck, which is pretty nice because the base of it is just a green-white Maverick deck. You then have the splash for Grove and Punishing Fire, you have Cloths, and then in the main deck you have usually blast effects and sometimes a sweeper like Fiery Justice. But otherwise the deck is pretty consistent. The mana base is a little bit off because of the Groves, but essentially if you can get your mana base correct, you should have a pretty good time with this deck. I think it's really powerful. I think Cloths is a pretty good card right now. There's obviously more answers to this card in the format than there was previously. Things like Skyclave Apparition, a lot of decks are playing Teferi Bounce. Hey GR, welcome. So Cloths, not as much as a Silver Bullet against some of the decks what I'm on. Hey Lemmer Boy. Yeah, I thought it would be, which is cool. I know you're having a lot of good results with Punishing, which is very cool to see. But yeah, I just want to see how this goes. It should be pretty fun. I like the consistency of just having, a fair amount of targets. I was going to try to fit in a Stoneforge Mystic package, but I think because my board is pretty light on combo hate, I don't mind having the main deck Oof and Teeg side by side. So hopefully that works out. I was going to play once, but again, I just really wanted to make sure that I could play Mum, but also have a pretty good Green Sun Zenith package that did everything that I wanted in any given situation. So, how hyped are you for Old Border Thriller Crew? It's pretty cool. I'm not a big fan of the gold printings, but yeah, it looks really sweet. I think the Bajuka Bog's actually probably the one that I'm really keen on because it's just like a card that I've always wanted in Old Border. But otherwise, yeah, I think it's cool that Knight got some love. That's always nice to see. If you want to find the deck list as well, you can find it in the Cardboard Live functionality, or of course, if you're watching on YouTube, you can find it in the description of this video. There we go. Nice. And bang, we're in. That was pretty quick. I wasn't expecting that, but that's fine. That is a-okay. We're here to play. Yeah, Dark Depth's definitely got a lot of love, which is nice. Up against Hainman. I believe we've played before. I'm not too sure what they're on. And this is a fine start. It's a turn 1 Noble. It is currently our only white source, which means that the Noble has to survive for turn 2 Thalia, but I think all in all this hand is pretty nice. It has Disruption and Questing Beast later on down the line as a big pressure threat. Green Suns adds another way to deal with some sort of combo deck, so happy to keep this. Hey Jack, welcome. Congrats on your win with D&T the other week. I know you guys tied in first place. What was your opponent on? And how did you find your list? Any cards that you really liked or didn't like? Gak? Nice. Noble's gonna survive, which is nice. I sometimes like playing Punishing Maverick in a way that I only show my green-white cards in the first game if possible, and then in the next game we obviously bring in more red cards like blast effects or sweepers in Punishing Mav. Charles for one, a little bit late for my opponent. The draw there of Noble Hierarch was pretty rough, but I think here I'm happy just to go for the Thalia. Probably playing against Urza, so I do want to keep them off something like a turn 3 Karn off a Soul Land. The upside of playing the Knight is if they go for a turn 3 Urza, we can then go and get Karakas the following turn. But I think for now I'm pretty happy just probably playing the Cradle, playing the Thalia. And then I can even Green Suns for Collect Oof next turn, which is pretty nice. Thalia just a little bit of a speed bump here, hopefully, for my opponent. And if extra things like Bauble's going to cost more, then that's always a plus as well. Finally getting a Paper Maverick list together. Very cool. Ah, this is going to be... Oh, no. Did we not bring in Scrib Ranger? Oh, we're not playing Scrib. Oh, no. I have failed everyone. This is going to be, interesting. Savannah. So close to getting the Knight and Questing Beast out. If we play the Knight, the Cradle taps for 3. What do I want to do here? I definitely want to play the Questing Beast. I still don't want to show the Taiga, because them not knowing about blast effects is huge. So I think here I'm pretty happy just going for definitely Savannah. And then I think it is just Questing Beast to start getting some real damage going. I think this is fine. Opponent can't force this either, which is nice, or daze it, which doesn't really matter because of the Savannah, but having the Thalia out's actually pretty huge. Yeah, the clock in case of the combo build is also very relevant. That's really true. So some builds of Merfolk are playing a little bit unfair in playing Thassa's Oracle and the 2-mana sorcery, I believe, that exiles your library and graveyard. I always forget the name of it. Is it Reality? I don't think it's Reality Shift, but it's something like that. I believe Reality Shift is the blue removal spell that gives your opponent Paradigm Shift. There we go. Interesting. Holding up 2 mana. I wonder if they're holding up the Merfolk that taps a creature, makes it lose all abilities. In that case, I probably want to deal with the Chalice of the Void. Yeah, Trickster. So what I can do is get Knight of Autumn first, and then deal with probably the Lord of Atlantis with the Swords to Plowshares. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. If we play the Taiga, we need 2 for the sword, so we have 5 left, which is enough for Thalia attacks for 2, and then 3 left over for the Knight. The only downside of that is that we do have to show the Taiga, but I think that's relevant enough to get this online. So 2, 5. At least if they want to counter this, they have to use a mana here to actually pay for a Force or Daze. So thankfully that would also turn off their ability to flash in a creature that I'll be aware of. So let's quickly look at Merfolk Trickster, because maybe I don't want to, attack with something, but it looks like they're going to try to tap down the Questing Beast here. This is fine. This is actually probably the first time I've seen a Questing Beast tapped, which is a very weird feeling. I don't think I've ever seen a, tap Questing Beast. I'm still going to attack here and see what my opponent does. They do nothing. And then I'm probably happy just holding up the Swords to Plowshares. I could Swords the Lord here, just to play around any sort of counter magic. And I think I'm pretty happy with that. Something like a True Name is probably the other threat that I have to care about, but of course I can't Swords that, so I think here I'm happy just sorcery speeding this Swords to Plowshares. Mutavault. If my opponent taps out for a True Name, it'll be interesting to see if they know how it interacts with Questing Beast, because Questing Beast says that combat damage that would be dealt by creatures you control can't be prevented, which means that protection doesn't work. So if I attack with Questing Beast and Thalia, and they block the True Name with Thalia, first strike still happens and damage still happens, which is kind of nice. Ice Manipulator. Interesting. What type of copy do I have? I have a cappuccino with a sugar. Jack, when are you up? Are you still coming up in a few weeks? Rick, welcome. Hope you're well. Oh, they are playing Oracle. Interesting. Okay, that definitely makes me want to start attacking pretty aggressively here. Wasteland's pretty nice, but the Thassa's Oracle is just so good as a creature because it blocks both the Thalia and Knight and kills them. So my only attack here is really with the Questing Beast. So at least we can just play out our hand. They can't attack the Beast, which is nice. And then next turn we have Lethal. They go to 7. I'm not sure what their out is here. Yeah, it's going to be pretty tough for them to put something together. Pretty lucky for us. So this is the Humble Merfolk. So cards that I like are the Blast Effects, the Justice, the Chokes are interesting, maybe one on the draw. And Skyclaves are probably also in contention. I'm not a big fan of the Thalias, I'm not a big fan of Teeg. I do like the Oof. I'm not sure if I like the Ooze though. I think Ooze could probably come out, especially when they're on the combo build. Ramanap is probably a little less unlikely, and same with Klotz as being that big in this matchup. Merfolk play a lot of basics, so that's where I kind of want the Choke instead of the Ramanap. I think that's a pretty easy switch out and kind of work in the same area. Mum's good, Swords is good, Mana Acceleration is fine, Hex Drink is great, Punishing Fire is fine, Sylvan Library. Could probably cut down on the library as well, seeing how they are probably going to try to be pretty aggressive in games 2 and 3. Hey Lynn Chalice, welcome. I hope you are well. Gideon's also interesting, just making my creatures bigger. I think Gideon's just better than something else. And maybe it is just the second Choke. Choke can really get them. It's a lot of cards for a matchup that I would consider pretty good, but with the Thassa's Oracle version, it becomes a lot worse. You prefer Choke than Gideon? How about both, Jack? And Library over Gideon? What is their combo? They play Thassa's Oracle, and then they play Paradigm Shift. I always get the first word wrong. Jack, you know it. Ooze can stay over Gid, or second Choke. Yeah, I think the Gid might just be a little bit too big of a creature. Skews could be relevant as a... I don't mind this. There we go, Legacy Council. A huge thank you. Paradigm Shift? I can't even say it. So they exile their library and then they play Thassa's Oracle, usually vialing it in, so they'll cast the Shift and then vial in Oracle. I think this is fine. Ah, you swap your graveyard and library. Interesting. This is an interesting one. I actually don't mind it. We have acceleration, and then we just have access to a lot of protection. I'm not sure if this Merfolk list would be on a on a Wasteland strategy. I assume there's at least one in the deck. They're not on Wastelands? Okay. So the question here is, do I want to build up my mana, or do I want to hold up a Blast Effect? I don't think I lose if I don't hold up a Blast Effect. I think I'm happy to actually just build up my mana here. Because I don't want to just, blast something for the sake of blasting it and then pass back with, no land. Ah, Chalice. Didn't think about Chalice. Didn't think about Chalice. Chalice is pretty good. Chalice is very good. Chalice is a concern. Chalice is a big concern. Alright. And that's the fault of keeping your hand like this, is it's very open to Chalice. I just did not even think of Chalice. We even saw it in game 1. Shadow Spear is cool. I like it in a lot of the lists that play Instant Batterskull as a way for maybe like another Reliquary to get through Young Pyromancer tokens or something similar. Yeah, good thing we ran the mana out. That's very true. Another Grove. Okay, we can get Night down here, which is nice. Chalice is kind of toxic here. I definitely should have thought about Chalice a lot more when keeping this hand. That was on me. That's 100% on me. Oh, Jit. Oh. I guess we trade here. Yeah. So if we don't block, they get 2 counters, and they can either kill the knight or kill the bird. We don't currently have a forest in play or a plain, so the knight isn't as relevant as I like. I think I'm happy just to block here and keep them off a creature, because them attacking with multiple turns is pretty rough, so... Unfortunate. Yeah. Green Suns for Oof would be nice. I guess land for Questing Beast would be sweet as well. True Name's pretty good. That's really tough. That's a hard pill to swallow, opponent. Skyclave. I don't think we have a way out of this, unfortunately. I don't think there's a great out, especially once our opponent gets Jide counters. It's going to be tough to beat. We do have the Skyclaves as extra protection, which is nice from the Chalices. Skyclave almost would have done if we had 2 planes. Yeah, that's very true. That Chalice was very good. Chalice isn't usually good against Maverick, but there it was pretty fantastic. Yikes. Alright. This is a sweet hand. Terminal Noble Hierarch, and then we have access to Collector Oof for Night of Autumn if we need it. Collector Oof in hand is really nice as well. Yeah. Just a solid hand, especially if they start on a Vial. The Groves are actually interesting as well because they play around Submerge, which is kind of nice. I didn't really think of that. I'm not sure if our opponent would play Submerge in Merfolk, if they just rely on creatures that bounce, but... The cat... I guess here... This is actually pretty interesting. We can hold up Red Blast and cast the Oof, or we can play the Mum and the Oof. We can't do both. I'm pretty happy to play the Oof and then hold up Blast. There is some consideration to get down just 2 creatures as well, but if the Oof got countered, I guess we would still have an answer in a way through Green Suns for Night of Autumn for the Vial, but... Cavern. Okay, that's fine. So blast effects are quite nice. Lord's fine. I kind of just want to hold the Red Blast here. I don't really need to use it on the Lord just because I have it. I think there's bigger fish to fry. And that actually makes sense because Merfolk are a fish. Okay. Definitely attacking for 3. And then probably just Wasteland, play Mum, and hold up Blast Effect as well. Terrible jokes. Terrible jokes. I apologize. Rim shot. Another cavern. Master. Again, probably okay. It's really going to be True Name that I'm a little bit more scared of here. And at least I don't have to counter them. I can still destroy them, which is nice. Yeah, of course. Yeah, the cavern means that the blast effects only work on the field, kind of. All right. Let's attack. I think the vaccine is rolling out pretty well. Over here. What do I want to do? I probably want to hold up a swords. Just to save some damage from getting through. I guess the Mum is also working in a way. I probably don't mind just playing the bird here and holding up Reb. I probably want to hold up swords and then... This is tough because Reb does nothing against True Name right now due to the cavern. And obviously once it's in play I can't destroy it. So I think I will just hold up the swords to plowshares. And play the bird. At the same time, I probably want to play around days a little bit, so I don't mind going like swords first and then play the bird. Yeah. We're not in lockdown, which is nice. Queensland, as the top half of Australia, has done pretty well. We had 2 weeks of lockdown, but other than that, it's been pretty nice. Jeeg, who's in Melbourne, or in Victoria, has had it a lot worse off. For sure. Silvergill is more than fine. They hit a land. No great attacks, which is nice. Mum doing a lot of work here. I think it's like Cradle would be insane here. Knight's not the worst either. I probably just want to play the Knight as a 3/3. That also gives me access to Cradle the following turn if we draw into a forest or plains. I also don't just want to die to like Paradigm Shift and Oracle, because that's just 4 mana, right? So that's definitely a consideration. I guess we could just Green Suns for Dried Arbor, and then hold up Blast and Swords. Which would then allow me to untap and play the Knight, but also hold up Red Blast and Swords through the bird, which is kind of nice. This does give me a forest, but I'm not too scared of Submerge here. It's not really a card I really care about. I think this might be a little bit being a little bit too patient, but I feel like the Paradigm Shift combo is the only way that I lose this game. Another Lord is fine. This is fine as well. Happy just to block the Silvergill and get pro. They could have Dismember here, which would be interesting. They have Submerge on Mum. I don't really want to draw that. I believe this is targeting Mum. What do we got? Yeah, Submerge targeting my other runes. They have 2 cards left. I think I'm pretty happy just to counter this. That makes me feel like they only have a combat damage plan right now, so I'm pretty happy about that. Ooh, okay. That's actually fine if that's coming down now. One card left for my opponent. I'm probably okay dealing with a Lord here. And then I am going to attack to bluff like we have another removal spell for the Lord. And they're not going to block with that 2/4, which is nice for us. So now we get to go Knight into second Mum. Did they top anything? Ah, that's a good question. They put a card on top. Oof. Hardcast Silvergill Adept. I am more than happy to see that. No great attacks here either for my opponent, which is really nice for us. They are still at 18, so I do have to start getting some damage in. Punishing Fire would be kind of cool. Green Suns. Okay. Green Suns for Questing Beast. Still very strong. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we can tap the Knight. I guess we can tap the Knight for Cradle, which is pretty strong. That also takes us off another Submerge, which is kind of nice. Hey Ben, it's going pretty well. We're in game 1 against combo Merfolk. I think Beast is just the best here. There's also a consideration to get Hex Drinker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 mana. 2 for Green Suns, 10 left over, and then just make it a 6/6. Which might be better? But definitely attacking with Collector Oof. I'm happy for that. Okay. Well, they see the block. I think it is just going to be Hex Drinker here. Yeah, I think Cradle's what I want here. Just to make the attacks from them pretty poor. Especially with double mum up. Nice. Alright. Yeah, they do only have one card in hand, which is really nice for us. And no longer submerges. I guess submerge could be hard cast, but we do have them other runes, so. Oh, they could have engineered explosives. They don't. Or they have the paradigm shift. Yikes. Rough. Yeah. Even like getting Wasteland there doesn't do anything, unfortunately. Maybe drawing a card was a better thing, and trying to draw into another blast effect. Tough. Definitely a nice backdoor out for Merfolk as well. Cool combo, nevertheless. But yeah, Merfolk, otherwise a pretty nice matchup. It's always nice to have the Scrib Ranger. Scrib Ranger should be in here, especially with the Mother of Runes. There's no reason not to be running Scrib here. I would probably cut either Collect Oof or Teeg and move one of those to the board, and then bring in a Scrib to the main deck, because it does give this deck a bit more oomph. Also quite nice against Delver, just for buying some time usually. At least it's a Merfolk, so it does fit into the deck somewhat, which is nice. This is an interesting hand. The tough part is that these three could be irrelevant based on the matchup. I think I'm pretty happy to mull. I really want to find like maybe a Mana Dork start, maybe a Thalia or a Green Suns. Okay, I don't mind this and just dropping the Ramanap, and then we have threat, protection, removal. Just gonna lead on the Mum as well. Snow-covered Swamp Pass. Interesting. Please don't have like Dark Writ into Opposition Agent. Okay, nice. Savannah Mum. Entomb? No Entomb. Interesting. Hoping for anything special in Modern Horizons 2. I would like Choke on a green creature. I would like Engineered Explosives on a creature. I would like... Yeah, the White Ancestral is going to be really interesting. Okay. This is probably going to be Curses. Himas. Yikes. 1 mana left. Prelate in Modern would be interesting. Smallpox. Right. Not the worst. We can discard Punishing Fire, which is nice. We do lose the Mum and the land, but then we have land Hex Drinker next turn. I like keeping the Windswept for maybe Dried Arbor. Punishing Fire is back in the deck. I think it's good enough right now. I don't think it's at its best, but I think it's better than, say, Lightning Bolt as an extra piece of removal. Oh. Scoos is a pretty nice draw, let's be honest. Just gonna go for probably Savannah to make sure we can cast our white spells if we draw them. I do have two, yeah, Jack put in the 25k channel points for me, so I do have 2 challenges coming up. I believe it's next Saturday, and then in 2 Saturdays after that. Swords. Not the greatest. Luckily we do have Grove online, so we can return Punishing Fire if we need to discard a card. We can also get Punishing Fire back if needed. Lily is more than fine here. Discard this. Hierarch. Hierarch's actually pretty nice. Yeah, sadly my weekends are pretty full, but I do want to make time because challenges are something that I usually can't play in, mainly due to the time difference. Most of them start at, well, the Sunday ones start at 2 PM, which is pretty rough. Getting aggressive. Interesting. I think Thalia would be an okay draw. Some sort of 2-drop that I could cast and then have Noble Hierarch as the creature to sack would be nice. Punishing Fire. This means we get to discard Punishing Fire, then Swords the Factory if everything works out fine here. I'm also going to wait for them to attack, because I don't want them just tapping it to gain an extra life when I could play around that. Punishing Fire is going to get a little bit annoying, but hopefully it's okay. Thalia. Nice! Very cool. That's what you want. Maybe, just maybe we can get out of this. I'm probably okay to sack the Noble, hopefully. It's a tough one because Noble is the second source of mana, but it does mean I can top deck into another Noble Hierarch to attack the Thalia with Exalted, so... This also turns off Tick Down. Alright. Might as well play this. Even though Wasteland isn't great here against a snow-covered swamp base, if they have like a Smallpox, I want to sack the Wasteland, not the Savannah. So it does have some resource here, which is nice. Another Lily. Okay. I guess we're sacking this. Come on, Lily off the top. Thalia, sorry. Ah, rough. I think the Wasteland here is better for me than it is against my opponent. Sinkhole. Okay. Lily's very strong. Yikes. I do want to see more of their deck, so like if they play like an Abyss or something, I definitely want to see it. I think my opponent has most information about my deck already, so that's actually pretty interesting. That turns on a Punishing Fire, which is nice. So now they're down to 0 cards. Now we can return one. I still like the second Wasteland here because it turns on Green Suns a little bit more. You bought 2 Savannahs today? Very cool, Super Bud. That's awesome to hear. Alright. This is fine. Everything is fine. Ooh, okay. Okay. Do we still have Dried Arbor? I believe we do. Up to 4, that's fine. I think this gets... We can Punishing Fire and then get it back in Punishing Fire. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Okay. Nice. Another Wasteland. There goes Lily. I'm going to take out the Urborg. To be fair, that's a pretty loose play. There's no reason to take out the Urborg at the moment. Wasteland's pretty huge for them, yeah. But now we have some top decks. Canopy, okay. I'm going to keep that as a green source for now. Sinkhole, okay. Oh, yes. That's what I'm talking about. Now we get back Grove. Nice. Nice. I guess I could have also got back a fetch land to get Dried Arbor in case of a sack effect. Ah. But at least the Grove will still kill the Lily in a way. But yeah, I think I should have thought about this a little bit more. That's a tough one. That doesn't do a whole lot here, but it is a creature, which is nice. The grind is really real. And Punishing Fire has been probably MVP here. Oh, Castle Lochwain is huge. That's definitely getting wastelanded. Wasteland, okay. Hitting the Grove, alright. Let's get back Punishing Fire. Probably want to keep this around and draw a card. I think the big mistake was not going for the Dried Arbor before and getting back the Grove. Teeg's interesting, doesn't do a whole lot here. At least we have cards in hand. Yikes. Okay. What lands do we have left? Oh, okay. That's not too bad. Him's pretty good. Pretty back and forth, at least. Noble's nice. Noble means that Questing Beast is a live draw, which is pretty nice. Can we see some Questing Beast in chat, please? Here we go. One draw for Questing Beast. Oh, so close. So close. I think I'm happy to draw a card here. Okay. Okay. We now have access to red, which is nice. Yikes. Okay, QB still on the table here. Ugh. Rough. At least if they go after the Thalia, we can still have 4 mana for Questing Beast. This isn't over. Oh, we're down to 1? Rough. I forgot that this makes us lose 3 life if we don't have a card to discard. Yikes. I mean, QB off the top. Okay, now it's over. Now it's over. I guess we can see. Yeah, this one put up a lot of work. Nether Spirit. Okay, so they're playing Nether Spirit. Rough. Probably these 3 I like. I don't mind Fiery Justice as well, just because it has reach over creatures. I don't like Oof. I don't think we need Teeg. I think Teeg turning off Green Suns is probably worse than them being able to cast some of their walkers. I do like the libraries. I can probably see myself going down on like 2 swords because we have the Punishing Fires. Any number of targets. Yeah, Skyclave main deck in Maverick is cool. I've seen it in a lot of green-white lists as an extra way to have removal in a main deck that you can also find with Once Upon a Time, which is cool. Yeah, sorry, reach for walkers, yeah. This is a 60, which I'm probably okay with. There's some thought to Canonist just because it's a creature that also stops Dark Ritual turns, but that's a little bit loose. I guess Cloths is also pretty nice. Cloths would have been a really nice target there if we had a Green Suns. No. Because then they would just gain the 5. But yeah, that's fair. That's hopefully something that we won't do on the stream. I think this is okay. Yeah. We have the Dryad Arbor, which is really tough, so we can't even Green Suns turn 1. What is this? Turn 1 land pass, turn 2 Sylvan Library, turn 3 Dried Arbor Thalia. I'm pretty happy to mulligan this. This is better. We have the Dried Arbor to bottom. Yeah, the library hands are really nice. I assume my opponent's playing Thoughtseize Inquisition, so outside of library, the hand was... I guess Thalia was also okay. Opponent went to 6 as well. Innocent Blood's pretty good. Thalia's pretty strong here. Especially with Karakas next turn. Hopefully no second Innocent Blood. Curse Scroll, okay. Oh, they miss a land? Wow. I think I'm happy here to play Questing Beast, just to get some real damage going on the board. Gonna go for a Tager as well to give us access to red, but also double green. This definitely feels better. Nice. Do they have an end step something? Maybe Fatal Push? Cling to Dust. Okay, that's fine. Three mana pass. Happy to play this because it means we can sack Dried Arbor. No, we can't because I just removed it. That's fine. Probably happy just to sack the Liliana here, or the Thalia. And then we can take out the Curse Scroll here, but also keep up Karakas. And also hold up Punishing Fire, which is relevant. Probably okay just holding Punishing Fire here. I don't really have to do anything. Opponent thinking about Wasteland here. Yeah. That's fine. Mum's pretty nice. Attack them. Questing Beast triggers. Kill Thalia. Liliana, sorry. Not Thalia. Mum, hold up Punishing Fire. A second creature's really good because it turns off one sack effect. Yeah, I assume just taking them off the ability to do that is what they wanted to do there. This is still fine. An Innocent Blood is along with this would be pretty tough. No, okay. Again, happy to attack them. We're getting to a stage where Punishing Fire is nearly lethal as well. I think I do want to play around a sack effect and just play the Skyclave out. Just because I really think this Questing Beast is a really good resource for me. And being able to protect it, even just by playing a Skyclave as a 2-2, is more than fine. Yeah, Skyclave not hitting tokens is really rough. Not a fan of that. If you're going to go all out, you got to go all out. Interesting, just a pass back. Gideon's pretty sweet. I probably don't want to show that yet. I'm probably happy attacking first with Questing Beast and not turning on something like Fatal Push by punishing firing the illusion. What's this going to be? Cling? Okay, that's fine. They go to 6 and then they die anyway, so that's nice. So Punishing Fire really paying off by holding it in hand, which is nice. I actually got a position where it was lethal. Looking back, I think this is fine. Probably just want to submit the same deck list. The one card I am a little bit weary of is Noble Hierarch. Is Plague Engineer. That card's pretty good against us. And I assume it's in the 75. This is a pretty rough hand, especially with the Dried Arbor again in the opening. Pretty happy to mull this. Opponent thinking about their 7. We will mulligan. This hand's good, we'll keep this. I probably just want to drop the swords here and just rely on multiple creatures. I'm not going to fetch here. I'm going to hold the fetch because it is just such a good resource in this matchup for Dried Arbor. So I'm going to play the Grove. It also plays around, like, if they did have something like Dark Ritual into Opposition Agent, I really don't want to get hit by that. But luckily nothing. Next turn I'm probably just going Land Knight, and then the following turn, if all goes well, we can play the Ramen up and get value off it straight away by getting back to Windswept Heath. Interesting. 2 mana up and pass. Land. They have to have something. Wow. No turn 1, no turn 2 play here, which is really interesting. Pox usually a deck that does really well out of the gates. Turn 1 Pressure or Disruption, turn 2 Pressure or Disruption, turn 3 Planeswalker. This could be like a Dead of Winter or a Toxic Deluge. Plague Engineer. Okay, that's fine. That's a pretty nice draw. So let's go... Ooh, I guess I don't have to worry about... sack effects, because Knight can just naturally grab Dried Arbor. So maybe I don't mind just going planes into Ramanap to get multiple creatures on board. I like that. This gives us protection against both lilies, which is nice. Can also make this knight a 4/4 if we really have to. Because we can sack a land and then wasteland ourselves if they like deluge for 3 or something. Best case is probably tap out for Liliana and make a sack, and we just go and get Dried Upper and sack that, and then next turn we untap, play Dried Upper from the bin, Punishing Fire, Plague Engineer, attack Lily, attack them. I think Ramanap's probably the best creature on the board right now because it does get back Dried Upper from the bin each turn, or Grove if they wasteland us and we want to get back Punishing Fire. So I think if they make us sack a creature in response to like Knight being activated, I'd probably sack the Knight and keep the Ramanap around. The mana base isn't one that's going to be hit by wasteland too hard, so Knight's power level definitely drops there. Curse Scroll, that's fine. Wasteland, okay. They tap the Wasteland to cast something. So if it is a sack effect, we can get Dried Arbor and not worry about Wasteland, which is kind of nice. But I think we still do that because it means Wasteland isn't hitting Grove. They're just gonna pass here. Interesting. To be fair, I'm happy just to untap here. They're holding up an instant speed sack effect. And they want to try to get us in a position where we activate the Knight to get Dried Arbor, and in response they make a sack. Hey Stress, welcome. In the middle of D&D. Very cool. Ah, holding up Curse Scroll? Yeah, that's fair as well. Hey Valakut, welcome, hope you're well. I'm gonna take out the Curse Scroll because we have an answer to the Plague and Punishing Fire. Ritual. Okay. That's gonna be fine. Hey Bruno, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what do you play in Legacy? What are they casting? What are you wanting to cast here? Liliana's Triumph. He plays sacks a creature. Okay. This is actually interesting. I would have done it in response to this, because now I'm happy just to sack the Skyclave, let's be honest. I could also sack Dried Arbor, but I want to keep that around for later. Ah, maybe they're going to hold priority. No. Yeah, let's just sack the Skyclave. Because now they don't get anything. Now they don't even get a 1/1. Now the ETB resolves. Now the curse scroll gets taken away. So it kind of gets taken away forever, which is kind of funny. I'm just going to hold up the knight again here and just pass. You're from Brazil and looking to improve my learn on Legacy. You normally play Modern, mainly Jund. Very cool. That's sweet. There is a world where I would have gone for like Wasteland, Wasteland them while they're tapped out. Of course, welcome. Thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play the format that is Legacy, what you play in it, what your local scene's like. Whoa. Him against us here is actually pretty nice because it makes the knight bigger and it also puts the Punishing Fire in the bin, which we can just get back with the Grove. They're going to play a Blast Zone. Okay. That's fine as well because we can just interact with it once they try to put mana into it. Last Hope, that's fine. I'm gonna sack something in response here. I'm just gonna get Wooded Foothills, because then it still could be Dried Arbor, or I could get a source for Punishing Fire. This means we can now... yeah, this is still fine. Punishing Fire, Plague Engineer, and then attack the Liliana for 4. Even if they have a sack effect here, it's not as good. I still want to attack both at Lily here in case they have, like... I guess they can't have removal for this, so... Let's go with attack Lily, attack them. Nice. Now, Mum can be fodder, and then we can play the Grove from the bin to get back Punishing Fire if needed. Nice. You're from Knoxville? Very cool. Ah, Legacy Goblins is sweet. I'm sure you're a fan of Goblin Lackey 1. Let's get back that Punishing Fire. Now we can double Wasteland our opponent, which is nice as well. Oh, I didn't mean to go to Ed Step there. Rough. I thought that we could instant speed the Wasteland and play it with Ramanat, but of course we have to do that during our turn. So hopefully this doesn't matter. We'll definitely hit the Castle Lochthwain here. A little misplay that hopefully doesn't come up. Just finished the league going 3-2 with Dark Maverick. Very cool. What were you splashing for with the black? Turn 1 Lucky is your jam? Yeah, Turn 1 Lucky is pretty strong. I will say that. Hopefully that second Wasteland didn't matter, and like, because missing it's huge. Being able to go main phase, Wasteland, the castle, play the Wasteland from the bin, Wasteland your Blast Zone. Okay, this is fine. See if they respond here. No. Sackmum. Smallpox is okay. Probably discard Punishing Fire. And then we probably keep the Ramanap over the Knight, but the Knight's the bigger clock. This is actually an interesting one. I think Ramanap just giving me more like recursion as well is better. Yeah. We also have multiple Knights in the deck. We don't have multiple Ramanaps. It is tough though because, you know, Knight is a two-tone clock. Bloodstone's fine because we have it covered with Wasteland. Ah, I was gonna float mana. I wasn't gonna sack it. That's rough. That's really rough because that now takes the whole turn off me. Hopefully this doesn't come back to haunt me. Yeah, definitely should have floated mana. Just wasn't thinking, unfortunately. That was the massive misplay. Oh, just a land for my opponent. Okay, now we're looking better. Now we're looking better. Hexdrinker was nice, not only as another like sack effect, but also just a really good creature to grind with. Wasteland not the best here. Let's get back a Wooded Foot, Windswept Heath, because then I can go for Dried Arbor at instant speed. Yeah, it's not the greatest creature, but it is early pressure, which is nice. Also, being just an X1 means it's open to a lot of extra removal. Liliana's going to be fine. Probably make a sack. That is fine. Let's fetch up Dried Arbor. Sack Dried Arbor. Go back Dried Arbor. Probably happy just going Punishing Fire at Lily, attack them. Don't really even care about Lily, to be honest. There's some consideration just to keep it. Small loose plays definitely add up, and I think I've definitely made a few this game. Which I think we're in a really good position outside of something like the Abyss. Nice, okay. Yeah, some small changes to my game I could definitely make to make sure I was playing a bit tighter. But thankfully, overall, we got there, which is nice. One sec. Nice. Punmav's definitely different. Some different advantages. The recursive removal's really nice in Punishing Fire, but then Plague Engineer is quite nice as well against some of the go wide strategies, or just sort of getting a nice 2-for-1. I do miss like Abrupt Decay and Thoughtseize, but the Pyroblast effects are also pretty nice, so I think if I was going to go to a tournament, I would keep... I'd probably play black. Hey Naz. I think Maverick's in a pretty good position. There's been some solid results. It's obviously still a pretty fair deck when it comes to Legacy, but yeah, I think losing Arcanist, Astrolabe, and Oko were all pretty big, massive things for Maverick to really kind of like get back a little bit. I think Green Sun's here is better than Hex Drinker just because it allows us to, next turn if the Dried Up result stays around, we get to go either Clots or Hex Drinker and Thalia. I wouldn't say we're a tier 1 deck, but I think that there'll be a lot of like challenge finishes that'll be pretty good with the deck. I know that it came in the top 8 of the first Legacy Challenge, I think, coming back. But it's always going to be tough. Ooh, this is going to be Depths. Okay. That probably wants me... Probably makes me feel like I want to play the Thalia and Hex Drinker here over anything else. And then Clots can come down the following turns. Play Thalia first. See if they want to do anything. Like crop. Feels like crop. Yep. So I guess we get one turn here. I assume our opponent has Urborg in hand, perhaps. So we get a draw and then a draw off the Canopy. So not the worst. Yeah, there's Urborg. They probably just make it now as well to play around Wasteland. Rough. Yeah, Collector Oof against lands is interesting. I think Collector Oof is better than any cards in the board, usually. So it's usually pretty good. This is an interesting one. There's not too many cards I want to take out. I don't mind taking out the Gaddock Teeg. Oof is interesting. Thalias are pretty good on the play. I probably want the Skyclaves. That's really it. Screws is fine. Punishing Fire is okay. Swords is obviously great. I'm going to assume this is Depths if they're playing Urborg. Clots, Knight, Ramanap. Yeah. I think it might just be some bears. This hand is okay. The swords is nice, but otherwise it's not too much, especially if they're playing... Oh yeah, that's just a streamer thing. The issue with this hand is just one piece of interaction, like an Inquisition or a Thoughtseize, just pulls it apart. I think I do want to aggressively go for like a Green Sun's Noble Knight hand, and this is much better. Happy to keep this and bottom the Hex Drinker. Hey Naz, thank you. Cheers. Probably just Savannah into Noble here. Hey Caleb, thanks for the follow. Hope you're well. At least if we don't draw a land, we can still Green Suns for Birds of Paradise, which is nice. Needle's fine. Probably just naming Wasteland instead of naming Night. Wasteland. Okay. Alright. Probably just making it in... I guess they can play around Caracas, so they'll probably just do it in our end step. At least we kind of have three ways to deal with it. We can block it, we can double swords it. Crop is more than fine. We can respond to step again. And now they do have a ton of life, but we have knights coming down, which is nice. I have one card left. I guess Skyclave is actually a really nice way to deal with Pithing Needle. Nice. Running this back, probably just the same. I think that the matchup is pretty solid. We're a deck that naturally runs Swords to Plowshares, Wasteland, Knight. I'm sure there was a little bit of patience I could have used with the swords, and if their line was maybe untapping, cropping for Sejiri Step to give pro green to get through the bird, then I could have waited, but hopefully that's fine. I am snacking on Skittles. I got a pack of Skittles from a date night the other night, from like tickets at like an arcade. So yeah, it's Skittles. Let's mulligan this. Okay, this actually isn't too bad. Keep this and bottom the Grove. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of snacking on sugar during a stream, but it is what it is. Sometimes you just need that little buzz. Arkin, what have you been streaming lately? You can blame me. Reclaimer, okay. Reclaimer's pretty interesting. Pretty happy just to go for turn 1 bird. And then next turn we can hold up Wasteland if needed. I guess Wasteland gets a little bit worse with Reclaimer being on the field, so maybe we can get to a stage where it hopefully doesn't matter too much. Four-color Pokey, Yorion, Urza control. Nice. Yeah, Yorion I think still has a place in the format. It's just trying to find out where. I kind of want to hide the Wasteland for now. Could just go Wasteland into Library. 2 mana up. They only have 2 cards in hand, so they're obviously slowly trying to get to the combo. So I don't mind just Wasteland, Library. This also means tapping out off the Reclaimer is pretty poor for them, because then we get to most likely deal with whatever they get. Yeah, I think this is okay. They're down to 2 cards. They're obviously slowly trying to get the combo together, so I'm not in a position where I have to hold up like Swords and Wasteland, which is kind of nice. And against this deck, I'm pretty happy to be very aggressive with Library. if I'm at 18 life or 8 life, it doesn't really matter. Most of the time, you're going to be taking 20 in one hit. So... see what they get with the Reclaimer. Wasteland kind of feels like a Time Walk here, but I don't want to be too... they're going to do nothing. Interesting. That's pretty huge. Bog is fine. Bog's a little bit late to the party, unfortunately. Or a little bit early, I should say. Hexmage is okay. They have one card left, so it can't even be like Spirit Guide and Crop. Yeah, this is fine. Wow. Oof, and Ramanap? Okay. I'm gonna put the Noble on... what are we doing this turn? I'm probably just going with Punishing Fire on Reclaimer. I think that's good enough. And then probably just playing the Grove. So I don't need to buy here, but I don't mind just being able to pay life here so that next turn I do get to dig for something. Could also just pay 8, let's be honest. Yeah, I think I like just like Grove, take out Hexmage. They've already used the Bog, which is pretty tough. And now I can either hold up, return Punishing Fire, or play out the Noble Hierarch. I don't mind playing out the Noble here. It just gives me more access to mana down the line, and I don't really need to get this back at instant speed, seeing the Bog's already in the graveyard. So pretty happy just taking it slow. This does mean that they could, if we weren't playing around Reclaimer, they could go and get Step to protect it. Clots is pretty strong. Don't really need it though, which is pretty nice. I think it's just put on top, and get a Knight into play. Then we get to hold up Punishing Fire and Swords here, and Wasteland. The only thing that I have to look out for is probably Rite of Consumption. So the funny thing here is that I can't Punishing Fire the Elvish Reclaimer because in response they can fetch, which puts 3 lands in the bin and makes this a 3/4, so I'm probably okay with this for now. Ghost Quarter. Interesting. I wonder if that's a bait. I think because we have the Ramanap, I'm happy just to let all of this slide. I don't want to react until I have to react. Oh, was their last card Decay? No. Hey, Mr. Lee. Welcome. Hope you're well. Lotus Petal's fine. 1 card left for them. They're attacking. That's interesting. I'm just going to take this. I could block with the Knight and then wasteland myself, or I could, Swords it, but I'm pretty happy just to take this. Let's get back Punishing Fire. Which is funny, because even if they try to Surgical it, we can Swords the Reclaimer, they gain life, and then use Birds of Paradise to make red to get back Punishing Fire again in response. Alright. Very cool to Hilly. I probably... guess Double Fire is nice because it deals with the Reclaimer. Oh, no. That's classic. I saw your message and just clicked F6, and I didn't mean to. Yikes. All good. I do want to play Script Ranger. I just completely missed it. Stupid. Just one of those things you don't do in Paper Magic, but sadly it just happens sometimes when you're streaming. Happy just to send this back now. Two cards for my opponent. Krakus is fine. They're going to attack, which is interesting. They have one card left. I'll take the bait. They've already got Bog in the bin, so... yeah. Pretty tough matchup for my opponent there. Not really having the start they wanted. But yeah, pun so far so good. Script Ranger a big card. I think the Script Ranger would just be probably Teeg to the board. Keep the Oof in the main deck. And then probably just go down on something like... maybe a Skyclave? Skyclave's been pretty good though. So yeah, it's a tough one. Even like Leylines, I'm finding Leylines win a ton of games on their own, as opposed to a split of something like Surgical and Tormod's Crypt. Apologies. So I do like the 4 Leylines because it just gives you the maximum percentage of having them in your opening hand. But it does take up a lot of space. I mean, 4 slots is never easy to give up in a sideboard. Interesting hand. I don't mind it. Turn 1 Mum, turn 2 Ooze, turn 3 Unite. It's a different hand, but seeing them in the blind, I'm probably okay with this. Mox Diamond, okay. Well, pretty happy to have this hand now. This looks like lands. Okay. Do they wasteland us? Surely, yeah. I guess Manador could be nice here. Swords. Okay. Yeah, the curve of the hand was really nice. And I think by the time we need Punishing Fire online, we probably would have had it, which is nice. I feel like this is a loam, and that's going to be really good for my opponent. Yeah. Really wanted a Mana Dork there, because then at least we could maybe get into it, but double exploration with loam here is just too good. And a library, yeah, I'm just going to concede there. I don't think we have a strong out to that. Especially with no Skyclaves in the main deck, it's going to be really tough. But we do have some pretty good cards. Probably these 6. I don't like the Thalias. I can see us going down on these. Teeg can come out. I don't mind Oof because it interacts with Mox Diamond. It might just be like one Thalia that we keep in. I don't mind this. Yeah, really nice hand from them. Maverick can definitely have a tough time against go-wide decks, and a lands deck seems fine when you have Wasteland, but when they're playing, you know, 3 lands a turn, and you're Wastelanding one of them a turn, and they're getting back 3 lands a turn, it's a downhill battle from there. Especially with Field of the Dead in the deck, they have a lot of ways to win, even through us cutting off something like Dark Depths. So, because the matches can be pretty grindy, it is nice to save some face. This is a tough one because it really relies on like Noble into Ooze. I guess we could go into Cloths as well, but I probably do want to try to find a Leyline hand that still has something going for it. This isn't a Leyline hand, but it's a pretty good 6. I think I'm just going to bottom the Mum here and just go turn 1 Noble into turn 2 Knight, and then maybe turn 3 Green Suns for Ooze. But no Leylines big, because I only have my 2 Birds of Paradise, which can actually hardcast it. Script Ranger gives you a few more outs, because then you just need the 1 Birds of Paradise, but otherwise it's tough. Opponent went to 6 as well. Tabernacle. Okay. Ah, yeah, 5 in the draw. That makes sense. Trop. Okay. Interesting. Is this a crop? EE for 1. Okay. I probably still don't mind just keeping the Noble around, just to see if they do put mana into it. And now I'm happier to leave to lose the Grove. So I'm going to play the Grove. And then fetch 4. Probably just a Plains. I don't mind this. Play Knight and pass. This also means that I can use the Noble to pay for the Knight, so they might just go land into EE Crack now. Next turn I can also go Ramanap, Wasteland, which is cool. If they tap out. This is fine. I don't mind holding up Knight here for Wasteland. I'd rather play around Loam than crop rotation. So like I don't want to Wasteland here and then just get it back with a Loam and replay it. I'd rather just do this in end step. Yeah, that's a really tough spot, because even if they do something here, we can do something like untap. We have 4 mana. We can Green Suns for Cloths, and then find a Wasteland, replay the Wasteland. So another game where, thankfully, my opponent didn't see that we had Leyline, which is pretty huge. And yeah, just a position like in game 1, where I just knew that I probably didn't have a great way out of it, and my opponent didn't either. But interesting to see the Engineered Explosives. That doesn't really change how we can board, but it's nice to know that that's a card that they can have. And just another one that Collect Oof hits, which is kind of cool. Not a great hand, especially with the Dryad Arbor and the Opener. It's just a one-lander that, you know, if we get a basic here to play around Wasteland and they deal with the Noble, it's just game over. Okay. No green mana, which is tough, but I think the chances of drawing a green source off the top are huge. That I just want to keep this in bottom of night. And then use the Sylvan Library to hopefully get back some card draw. Yeah, Lynn Chalice, 100%. I think that a lot of the blue-red variants, especially with Sprite Dragon, can be really tough. So Punishing Fire can be pretty tough there. But I do like it overall against a lot of the fair decks. And just to give the deck a little bit of reach, it's quite nice as well. Why do I like the God Overnight? I guess it gives me a little bit more to do if they do deal with the Leyline. And it's a lot harder for my opponent to deal with. Perfect. I don't think there's a better draw. I guess my opponent could have Force of Vigor, which would deal with both of these, which is pretty rough, but otherwise pretty good. But yeah, I do like that Punishing Fire deals with Delver. It doesn't really deal with Sprite Dragon. I don't think you're going to get in a position where you can do that. The other thing is Ghost Quarter. Is this Tireless Tracker? Valakut Exploration. Okay, that's pretty strong. Yeah, it's definitely not the worst against Pyromancer. This is pretty interesting. Pay put on top. This is tough because I do want to hit my opponent here. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card for as long as it remains exiled. At the beginning of your end step, if there are cards exiled with Valakut Exploration, put them into their owner's graveyard. Then Valakut Exploration deals that much damage to each opponent. I think I actually should have kept the Hex Drinker as a threat to play this turn, because I kind of want to take them off the Taiga, especially while they don't have access to the graveyard. Yeah, Valakut's a big reason why the Lands Maverick matchup has definitely shifted. Which you can actually see in a Channel Fireball coming up, but that's all I'm going to say. Landing Knight also seems super strong. I think it's just Plateau, because I don't really care about red. I guess I do because of the... Yeah, it's going to be Savannah. I think getting Knight into play is better than using the Wasteland here, but it's tough. What I'm really scared of is like exploration off this green source and then lands off the Valakut Exploration. So I think the big issue is not keeping the Hex Drinker. Just going to 12, you don't really care about your life total in this matchup, and playing that as a land. They hit a Mox. It's pretty good. They did have another green source, so it makes me feel less bad about not wastelanding the Taiga. They can Punishing Fire this Knight as well at the same time, yeah. Which kind of seems like a waste. Maybe I should have been a little bit more proactive. Ooh, that's a huge draw. I'm going to pay for this. Play Plateau. Knight your Valakut Exploration. That's a huge turn. Oh, they're going to fetch and try to play something off the Valakut right now. They hit a maze. They're going to crop. They're going to hit a Thespian stage. They're going to fetch again. They hit a bog. Interesting. I wonder what they were trying to do there. Maybe chat knows what they were doing. So in response to us Night of Autumning their Valakut Exploration, they fetched a bunch and crop rotation to hit something. End of their turn. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Wasteland and Wasteland's fine. They have 2 cards left. Does this deal 3 to me? Surely not. No, okay. Put on top. Green Suns is pretty solid here. Put on top. That trigger never happens? Yeah. Looks like they're just going to blow up Blast Zone here. That's more than fine. That's 1 extra land they get to play around with, so it's pretty good for us. Now to slam Clots. And probably just pass here. I could take out the Taiga to keep them off red. They have 2 cards in hand. Another Exploration would be pretty good for them, so... This also plays around crop rotation, which is kind of nice. Bog target us. Oh, so they can always play these. Wow. Interesting. That's pretty cool. If I knew that, I probably would have kept the Wasteland for end of turn, so I could actually get some value off it. Put on top. Put on top. Land. Attack with Knight. I get a shuffle here as well, which is really nice. They're going to play the stage. That's fine. They could copy at sorcery speed the forest, so I can't wasteland it, but they're just going to allow it. Put on top. Put on top. Play the fetch. I do want to fetch to get another look at Sylvan Library. Pretty happy just to hold up Knight here. See what they want to do. Nothing. Maze is okay. They can copy it. But I'm pretty happy just to see if we can hit it here. Because at least they have to tap the stage to copy it, so it won't be online for another turn. Okay. Put on top. Put on top. Clots. I don't really want to do anything here, let's be honest. I have to, don't I? Yeah. Make green. Probably just play Thalia. Does tax them a little bit, which is nice. Again, just happy to keep the knight up. They're not going to use their stage. Yeah, Clots is hurting us, which is pretty funny. I'm going to sack the plateau here. I'm just going to get a wasteland. And just hold that up. I really want the shuffle from the Sylvan Library, but it's a pretty tough situation for my opponent. We have the Dark Depths package covered. They don't have an exploration to start going wide. They didn't find an answer to the ley line, which is huge. Game would have been so different if they had a Force of Vigor for the ley line and Sylvan Library, but thankfully we get there. Yeah, no blue decks yet. What did we go down to? We went down to Merfolk. Oh, I guess we played against Merfolk, Jack. Come on. Come on now. It was Merfolk with the combo with Shift and Merfolk is blue, Jack. Come on. It plays Force of Will. Merfolk is probably the most blue deck around. It's not a green deck. I know what you're getting at, but from a technical point, it is a blue deck. It plays islands, it plays blue creatures, it plays blue spells. I assume Merfolk and Urza's Echo are the only blue decks that play Chalice? Aluren. Oh, they're playing Yorion. Unfortunately, no green mana here. Okay. I'll keep this and bottom the Dryad Arbor. I guess I've never seen Tess in a match, so... Bugloam, yeah, that's a good one. Bugloam's a really good one. Opponent on Yorion. Taiga, not what I expected. Green Suns themselves. Okay. Another land isn't great. I don't mind attacking here and seeing if they trade. Because then we can Green Suns for another Dork. No. Okay. I don't mind building up my mana, but maybe I do have to rely on more than just a questing beast. Yeah, I kind of like Hex here just to change up my my threats. It also might make them hold up mana, so when I try to get it to level 4, it does nothing. Tundra. Ponder, okay. I don't think it's the Punishing Mirror. I think it's something else. Yeah, this is an 80 card Yorion deck. I kind of don't want to show the Grove, but I also want to fetch for a red source. I am just going to go for a forest here. And then I am pretty happy to attack with both. If they want to trade the Dried Arbor, that's fine. Just keeping them off Yorion's pretty good. And it also fills the bin for what I believe will be a Colossus off this Green Suns. Clothis? Clothis? This seems like a Swords to Plowshares deck. So the Hex is a little bit open to removal outside of a Mother of Runes protecting it. Alright. Green Sun's away. Removal? Thalia. Interesting. I don't mind Green Suns for cloths here. If they are on, I believe they said they're on 4-color Aluren, which we can't really beat with just one Green Suns. Did they miss a land drop? No. Yeah, so I'm not too sure if like cloth is actually even that good, or if I should just go for a Knight of the Reliquary. Because like, I guess Teeg is interesting. Teeg's actually pretty good, especially if I want to keep them with Aluren. I don't mind that. I could go Teeg and then play Thalia. That's actually pretty strong. And it also covers me against Aluren. They're gonna force this, that's fine. Pitching a Baron, okay. Play Thalia. Attack for 4. They have a land. This definitely feels like Aluren. Green Suns for 3. Okay. Uro. Okay. Knight. Two cards left. Ah, I wonder if they thought the Green Suns was going to get Scavenging Ooze, which makes sense if they're on the Aluren plan. They're going to cast the Uro, that's fine. We can Caracas the Uro and then swing. They might have something like Ice Vanquaddle, but it doesn't have Death Touch at the moment. Could also draw a card with Horizon Canopy, but I think Caracas is just better. Tough spot. Uro just super strong. They're also, I guess they're not close to recasting it. I think our only way out of this is sadly just maybe getting in there with combat damage, so Caracas just seems like the best way to go here. Feels like swords, yeah. I'm gonna hold the Wooded Foothills here. I'd rather it be a random card that my opponent doesn't know about than a 0 card hand and everything on the bin. Aluren's pretty good. Ponder, okay. See what the Ponder does. Aluren's pretty tough because they can just keep going. Yeah. I think Recruiter just gets there. So let's quickly let them combo off. We'll go back to Decktech. Nice. So I think in this matchup I want to take out Collector Oof. I'm not too sure how much Thalia actually does. Maybe Thalia can come out. I do like Canonists and Blast Effects and Choke and Fiery Justice and Skyclave. So I do like a lot. So if we move this over here. Klotz is pretty slow, but it does hit the Uro, which is nice. Ramanap seems good, especially seeing their mana base. I think Teeg is fine because it does stop Aluren. I don't mind taking out Hex Drinker. So I definitely want these. I do like the Fiery Justice. I do like the Blast Effects. Punishing Fire is also pretty good. Maybe I don't need the Fiery Justice. Especially being sorcery speed. I do like the Canonists. And I don't mind a Choke, but their mana is pretty different. I guess Island, Island, Island. Maybe Choke is worth it. Choke seems like something they could play around. Yeah. I mean... maybe it's like one mum. Maybe that's fine. I don't mind this. Oh, what's this card? That looks cool. When it leaves the battlefield, it deals X damage to target player and you gain X life. Where X is its power. Nice. I think this is all I want. Canonists, Skyclaves as extra removal. Blast effects for things like Uro, Cabin Harpy. I think that's fine. So, Blast effects, Canonists and Skyclaves. Thalia's mum. Hex Drinker. And there's one more card. Oof. Yeah, that's very cool to see. The, yeah, it's cutting out that one slot. I think this is pretty good. Aluren can be rough, but yeah, hopefully this is enough. Alright. I'll keep this. Turn 1 mum, turn 2. Aethersworn Canonist. more than fine. They chose not to shuffle. Okay. I'm gonna not show the wasteland yet. I think I'd rather Sylvan Library here, but I'm not too sure. I think the Canonist is just a little bit better. I'm probably only casting one spell a turn myself anyway, so... Get to attack, that's pretty free. Just gonna go for a basic here. I'm not too sure if the wolf can hit Canonist. That's a good question. I should have found the name of it. Let's quickly... can I copy this? No. Kima Stalking Shadow. Target player. This definitely feels like an Uro here. Plague. Okay. Yikes. No attack is really interesting. Alright. Let's draw a card. Another Grove. Not the greatest draw. Put Uro in hand. Okay. Knight's pretty strong. No great attacks here either. We've already used the canopy, so we can't draw a card off the Knight. Pretty happy just to wasteland and upkeep. Means if they have like Fatal Push, they have to use it in their turn. That's fair. At least we gain a bunch of life, so like another Sylvan Library wouldn't be too bad. Swords is a start. I guess like Ice Fang's really annoying, but I think I just have to start pressuring them in some way. If they have Ice Fang, they have Ice Fang. Pyroblast is pretty good. Hey Lazy, is that the creature? I believe that's like the human that's like a blue and a white. I think some players used to play it as a flex slot in What is it? Esper? Esper Vial? Decay's pretty good. Hey Ravenous. Yeah, we have some 7-point coming up, which is cool. I believe myself and Jimbo are doing a stream in a week. I believe it's a week. It's either 1 week or 2 week, which is really cool. Especially with more people coming to the format and playing events like the MTGO League that Rob's MTG and a few others ran. I believe MTG Mate was also a player in it. This is interesting. I kind of like just getting Ramen up here and getting Wasteland online again. It also means we can start drawing cards down the line. I will definitely play the next MTGO League, especially with a Mox on the table. They can Ice Fang here, that's fine. And then if they want to force this, we have the Pyroblast. Nothing. But yeah, Highlander is a sweet format. If anyone doesn't know what 7-point Highlander is, you should check out 7ph.com.au. No attacks. Interesting. Knight. Okay. Let's replay Canopy. Let's play Knight. They're gonna force that bitching Yorion. I think this is worth Pyroblasting. They really care about it. I guess that's tough because now they get to. Are they just going to hardcast Yorion here? No, Eternal Witness. Okay. Wonder what they get back. They could get back Abrupt Decay, but they don't have the mana up for it. They could get back to Swords to Plowshares, but they don't have the mana for it. It's going to be Decay. Okay. At least now we have some time to find removal. Like a Punishing Fire is exactly what I want. Green Suns. Okay, that's Questing Beast. Cradle. Can we take a draw here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's Green Suns for Questing Beast. They got back Decay, right? Yeah, Abrupt Decay. Okay. Can't really take them off the swamp either. One, two, three, four, 5. Which is Green Suns to Questing Beast, which means I'm probably not attacking with the Knight anyway because of the Ice Fang. So I don't mind. Get back Canopy. We lose a mana, but we can just regain that with the Knight, thankfully. So we kind of get a free draw here. It's nothing. But now we get to at least go sack Forest. Go and get Taiga. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We get to Green Suns for QB. Nice. Puts him down to 5. Growth draws a card. Decay on Knight. We knew about that. Oh, swords as well? Yuck. Alright, let's get back Canopy. Let's draw a card. Okay, there we go. I don't mind attacking with the Ramen up here. They could double block, but I'm happy to trade that for the Recruiter. Yeah. I guess we get a double trade here, which is nice. Oh, we're in damage? No! Oh my gosh. Oh no. Oh, pay attention, man. Come on. Rough. Oh. Oh. Big wrecked. You can't undo that. You can't undo that, Jack. I literally just tried to undo that. You can't undo that if it happens like that. Explain quality? Yeah, Ramam, sorry. Yeah, it doesn't allow you. It doesn't allow you to untap. That's all I'm saying about that. Okay. Yeah, it must be the trigger. Oh, rough. Exactly. That's why I said I can't do it because of the Groves. Is pretty good here. I will return Punishing Fire, thank you. Okay. Interesting. I can actually just pay for all of this, let's be honest. Skyclave is pretty nice. I probably want to... I guess see what happens first. I'm probably happy Pyroblasting this. Or just let it come back. I think I just let it come back, to be fair. Down the line and then Skyclave it. At least that makes them use more of their graveyard. They don't have a land. Okay. Teeg's pretty strong. Okay. Bye. Play Teeg first. It resolves. Play Noble. Attack for 3. Play Cradle. Pass back. Deluge for 2. Turn Teeg. to Punishing Fire this now. Didn't I? Yeah, there we go. Also down on clock a heap, so definitely have to think about that. Oh, Klotz is pretty sweet. I'm gonna pay for this. So let's start off with Teeg. And then I think Klotz is better here. See, I cannot do that because of these triggers. Damn. That's really rough. So I have to go with Knight. At least it's a big threat. It's a big boy. Oh my god. No. No. Counter. Nice. Nice. Okay. Game 3. I don't think I want the ley lines. I don't mind the chokes. I don't mind one choke. Second library was really strong. I think it might just be the mum because of Toxic Deluge and other effects like that. Especially seeing Plague Engineer as well. Yeah. You know what? I'm going to bring in double choke. I think one is best on the draw, but I really want to see it, so I'm pretty happy to bring in the second. Opponent didn't see it in this game either. This is a sweet hand. I'll keep this. But now I really got to play the clock because I'm down 6 minutes. That's fine. Taiga into High Rock. Mainly due to if I draw into library, I want to have a red source and available. Ponder's okay. See what the Ponder does. They chose to shuffle. Interesting. Ooh, okay. Punishing Fire this. Nice. Wasteland that. And then next time we can Skyclave the Abundant Growth. That's pretty strong. Hey F3, welcome. Yeah, Maverick's a pretty sweet deck. Oh, there's the choke. That even makes this line a little bit better. Take this out. Yeah, Oof is pretty strong. Test can be pretty tough because it is quite such a fast deck, but Maverick's definitely got a few nice printings over time and things like Collect Oof and Deafening Silence. This is fine, especially with the choke. Klotz is pretty strong here. What do I want to do? Don't want to attack just yet. Feels like an abrupt decay perhaps here. Yep. Witness is fine. They're going to attack. Interesting. Pretty happy to get cloths down here. I can't hold up Pyroblast, which is a little bit rough, but it's probably okay. Ooh. Should have played the land first to hold up double Pyroblast. Four cards for my opponent. Decay on Knight. Rough. Alright. Oof. Hit that decay. Attack for 3. And just pass. So close. This is probably just going to be Uro. But at least we can Pyroblast it back when it comes down. Ooh. I will get Plateau and return that, thank you. Yes. I'm gonna try to recast it. Hopefully this works. Yes. Oh my gosh. And now we just have it, right? Eat a row, punishing fire, punishing fire. Ooh, clutch. Yes! Haha! Nice. Very cool. Oh my gosh, that matchup is a headache. Oh, nice. Very cool. Very good. Yeah, nice burn deck. Nice burn deck. There we go. Very cool. Nuts. Very cool. These are over here. Let's go back to Decktech. We go bigger. Nice. I think because I went up to the 3 punishing fires, which is probably just what it should have been, I don't need the fiery justice, which means I can probably put Teeg in the board, and then bring Scribranger back, which should have just been there. Let's be honest. Scribranger really nice, especially in a mum build. I think I'm much happier about this. Very nice. Love the shout. Yeah, very good. Punishing 5, burn 0 skill. Yeah, that was a tough one. That was a tough one. Do you have a schedule for when you stream? I usually stream in Australian time, which is GMT plus 10, which is Thursday nights, 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, AEST, and then usually Sunday mornings around 10:30 or 11. And then I also do a recorded league a week for YouTube, which is really cool. I think there's definitely room for punishing for Stoneforge Mystic and Punishing Maverick. It's nice as well because it gives the Mana Dork something to do in the late game. I think that Loma Boy might have been playing with Stoneforge. I know that he was having a lot of success with Punishing Maverick, which is nice. But yeah, I think you just have to cut probably something like a Sylvan Library, maybe go down on your impact creatures, so like Hex Drinker. I'd probably still want to play the Mother of Runes. You could probably go down on a Hierarch as well to make it just 4 mana dorks. And then probably, yeah, 1 more card, and then you can go a 2-2 split, which is pretty nice. So 2 Stoneforge Mystic, maybe then Jade and Sword of Fire and Ice. But yeah, overall the list seemed pretty sweet. I was a big fan of it. That last game just took it out of me. Hi. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of different versions of Maverick you can be playing right now. I don't think there's like an arguable best version. A lot of them have different advantages and disadvantages. Green-white has a pretty nice mana base, and you have like main deck Skyclaves, but you don't have things like Punishing Fire or Plague Engineer to hit some of the go-wide strategies. Black, of course, gives you Thoughtseize for some of the combo and mid-range matchups. Plague Engineer and Abrupt Decay is pretty nice as well. Red gives you Punishing Fire, Clots, and elemental effects, which is cool. Yeah, F3, 100%. You were correct there. But that is me. That is me. I am done. I am cooked, as they say. But a huge thank you to everyone for coming in and watching. If you want to find me on YouTube, you can find me here. If you want to find me on Twitter, you can find me here. I do have some new content coming out tonight on thegreensunzenith.com. It'll be a monthly Maverick, which is just a recap of all the 5-0 lists, the good finishes and challenges, etc. Any new card selection that's been playing, some pretty cool stuff. I'm going to see who else is streaming at the moment. I'm going to assume the Legacy Pit is, and there they are. Is your 6 AMs? Well, I appreciate you being here, 100%. The Legacy Pit. Nice. Awesome. A huge thank you once again. Be well, be safe, enjoy your weekends, and I will catch you on Thursday night. Alright. Enjoy.